Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Cara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host, and it is Monday, the 18th of November. Last week, I was saying that this week was Thanksgiving week, and it's not. It's next week. So now I can keep saying next week is Thanksgiving week, and it's looking like it's going to be a great week next week. Perfect temperatures, beautiful temperatures. Actually, we're going to take a look at your forecast in just a little bit. Of course, at 2:30 today, our First Alert weather team will be in here to give you a more in-depth look at that forecast. If you are watching on our website or through our news app, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, whether that be Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, sometimes we even stream on TikTok. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching here in Jackson or some of our bedroom communities that we have out there, or even farther away. Let me know in the comments where you're watching. And if you have any questions or thoughts or opinions or any of the stories that we bring to you today, you can always leave those comments in the comment section as well. I enjoy getting to hear from you guys while we do this newscast. Tyler Vance says, hey. Hello, Tyler. How are you doing today? Sheila saying hello, Cara. It was great to see you. Hope that you had a great weekend. I did have a good weekend. I hope you had one as well, Sheila. Thank you so much for tuning in and saying hey to me. I do appreciate it. Well, let's look at over. Let me get my words correct here. Goodness. Apparently, I had too good of a weekend. I can't even talk anymore. Let's look at the sky cam that we have over Ridgeland right now. Looking rather cloudy and kind of gloomy out there right now. You can see those clouds moving in. We are expecting rain in our area tonight. Some chance of severe storms. But make sure you are tuning in at 2:30 today so you can get a really in-depth look at that forecast, the timing of the storms as they're coming through our area and what you can really expect. Kenneth Kenneth is watching from work in Hinds County. Thank you so much, Kenneth. We have Raven here. It's in Jackson. Hello, Raven. And San Gusta is from Port Gibson tuning in. And Rhonda, Rod, I'm going to say your name wrong, and I apologize for that. But she is tuning in from Hazelhurst. We'll call her Miss Robinson. I can say that. Thank you so much for watching. We looked outside. We're going to look at our in-depth look at your forecast in just a little bit. But first, let's go over some of the stories that happened here over the weekend in Jackson. It was a rather sad weekend in our community. A lot of deaths happened, a lot of shootings. As a matter of fact, Jackson reached over 100 homicides for the year of 2025 so far, which is a very sad thing. JPD has worked some of those cases. Capitol Police has worked some of those cases. But in total, the city of Jackson has now reached over 100 as far as homicides go. First thing, though, let's get into talking about a wreck that happened on Highway 49, and we're going to show you the scene of that. Mississippi Highway Patrol has confirmed that one person has passed away in a two-vehicle accident that happened on Saturday. So here on your screen, you can see the scene from it, and Kenneth. You know what, Kenneth? I did say 2025. You're correct. It is 2024. I'm trying to hurry up and get through the year, aren't I? But this scene is from Highway 49 near Star Road. It happened just after 6 o'clock on Saturday. Officials say that a Hyundai SUV was traveling north on Highway 49 when a Pontiac, which was driven by a 21-year-old Gracie Blakeney and of Taylorsville, and the passenger was with her 36-year-old Ashley Holloman of Waynesboro. They were crossing onto Highway 49 when the two vehicles collided. The Hyundai's driver and passenger were transported to UMMC with unknown injuries. The Pontiac's driver was transported to the hospital also with unknown injuries, but unfortunately, Holloman, 36-year-old Ashley Holloman, did pass away from her injuries, and she died there at the scene. The crash does remain under investigation at this time. And here in Jackson, there was a shooting that happened Sunday afternoon where a man was killed at an apartment complex here in the city. So here we go. Here's the information on this. So Detective Tommy Brown with JPD told us that it happened around 1:30 p.m. at the Trails at North Point Apartments. The victim was outside of his vehicle when he was shot multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect fled on foot. And if you have any information on the shooting, please call Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers if you have, if you're in that area and you have Ring doorbell cameras. I know I say this all the time. It's almost like I'm on repeat, but if you have Ring doorbell cameras or you have a security camera showing the outside, if you heard something that night, if you saw something, it could be your information that helps bring the person who is responsible for this to justice. So please reach out to either Crime Stoppers or Jackson Police Department and pass the information along to them that you have. It could very well help them. Also, here in the capital city, a 6-year-old girl was injured during a shooting that happened. So, Jackson Police tells us that it happened in the 4200 block of Pyle Avenue around 10:30 Sunday morning. Two people were on foot. They were shooting at an individual, and during this shooting, a 6-year-old girl was injured. She was taken to the hospital, thankfully with non-life-threatening injuries. Officials say multiple shell casings were collected there at the scene. No arrests have been made at this time, but JPD says they do have a possible person or persons of interest in this. Of course, if you have any information on this incident, please contact the Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. Looking here at our comments, Linda Hawkins says that she is watching from Yazoo City. Hello. And Virginia Chase says, so sad. Over 100 homicides in Jackson this year with only 43 days left. Our humanity truly is disappointing some days. And it is very sad to see. And hopefully those numbers will start to improve in our city, in the capital city, as we go into next year. Hopefully next year we won't see the same type of numbers, the same type of homicides and murders that have happened here. It's very, very sad. Now we're moving to an incident that happened here in Jackson again, where a man is dead after a hit and run. So this happened around 8:30 Sunday evening, around the intersection of Raymond Road and Ellis Avenue. Jackson police say they received a call regarding the incident. When they arrived, they discovered the 54-year-old man had been walking along Raymond Road when he was hit and killed. His name has not yet been released. Officials say the vehicle that struck the man is described as a white Nissan with a black top with possible heavy damage to the front bumper. If you know this vehicle, if you've seen a white Nissan with a black top that has damage to the vehicle, please contact JPD or Crime Stoppers again. And Nicole Hemingway is asking here, says, any news on the mayor of Jackson? We don't have any updates yet. If you're are asking questions regarding the bribery scheme that is being investigated or was investigated, and now we're waiting for trial to start, we don't have any updates on that specifically. We do know that the mayor is having a press conference right now, and he is actually at the podium for the press conference. We do have people there, and if he speaks on this, if he answers any questions regarding that, we will certainly bring that to you. We are also going to be looking at a trial or a motion that was put in place, filed rather, against DA of Hinds County, Jody Owens. We'll be looking at that in just a minute. So Seashell's Prosperity says here, how many was in the last 5 years, increase, decrease in homicides? And you're talking about the homicides here in Jackson. Well, I want to take you guys to a page that we have on our website. And you can find it, here it is right here. So this gives you the count of homicides that have happened here in Jackson, and you can look back over several years. So we can see back in 2016 we had 69 that were tracked. In 2017, 64, 2018, 84. The highest number so far is when we were in 2021. We had 160 homicides there in that year, 138 in 2022, 118 in 2023. Of course, these are all totals for the year. And then we're at 101 for Jackson so far this year in 2024. And you can check out this page on our website. If you come to our website, you click on the three little dots there up to the side, and you come down to crime. You'll see where it says Jackson homicides, and that's where you can go to get a track on this. We have a lot of information on this page, including what type of homicides occurred, where they happened, if they were investigated by Capitol Police or JPD, things like that. So you can check that out and get all of the stats on the homicides in Jackson over the past several years right there. But I do appreciate you asking that question. It's a great question there. Mike Magazine says, hey, Cara, keep up the good work. Hello. Thank you so much, Angela, and I appreciate you tuning in. So let's talk about some drug arrests that happened in McGee over the weekend. In Simpson County, 3 men are now behind bars after police found drugs and a weapon during a traffic stop that happened in McGee. So these are the individuals on your screen who were arrested. Officials say just after midnight on a Saturday, a police officer conducted a traffic stop near Love's truck stop on Highway 49. They did this traffic stop because there was improper equipment on the vehicle. Well, during the stop, the officer made contact with the driver, who was James Frederick Harper Jr. He is the one on your far right of your screen. And then he had 2 passengers with him, Brian Otis and Quintarius Otis. So they conducted a search. They found a loaded firearm in the vehicle, several drugs, including a bag which they contained suspected marijuana and dozens of suspected ecstasy pills in that bag. So all 3 men were taken into custody and transported to the McGee Police Department. Brian Otis has been charged with possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. Quintarius Otis is charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent. And Harper, the driver, is charged with the same, but he is also charged with improper equipment. We also have a silver alert here for a resident of Jackson, and this is her on your screen. Her name is Brenda Kelly, and she was last seen last Tuesday around noon on Lyndon B. Johnson Drive in Presidential Hills. So she was wearing a gray jacket and gray pants. Family members say she has a medical condition that could affect her judgment. If you have any information on where she is, please contact Jackson Police Department, contact Crime Stoppers so that she can be found and returned to her family. And also in Jackson, a copper theft arrest happened. Four people are now behind bars. They're accused of committing business burglary and other crimes. So Jackson police were called to the Metro Center Drive for this burglary last Thursday. Four suspects, and that's them on your screen, forced their way onto the lower level of Burlington department store. So, after receiving a description of the suspects and the suspects' vehicles, officers made the arrest on the top level loading dock of the department store. The vehicle that was used in this was a 2002 Chevy Silverado truck. Have to slow down sometimes. They did have a switched out tag on it. So the tag that was on it was not the one that was actually registered to the vehicle. So they found guns, burglary tools, and copper wire inside of the vehicle. William Floyd, Johnny Henry, Rachel Stepp, and Zach Williams were booked in jail for several charges. And if we take a look at an incident that happened over in Walthall County, there was a deadly shooting, one dead, three injured at a party over there. The person who did lose their life in the shooting, their name has been released, and her name is Lorian McGee. So the sheriff of Walthall County, Cal Breland, tells us that this happened on Sunlight Church Road. It was just before midnight on Saturday. Three other people were injured during the shooting. Two victims were taken to the hospital in Bogalusa, Louisiana. Another one was taken to a hospital in Columbia. Their conditions are unknown at this time. No arrests have been made. But as always, if you have any information regarding this, please contact Walthall County Sheriff's Department. Looking here at the comments again, Seashells Prosperity says, thank you. You are very welcome. And anybody, if you have any questions, if I can answer them, please put them in the comments. And I will, if you think I can answer them, if you have a question, put it in the comments. If I can answer it, I will answer it. And if I can't, I will try to get that information for you so that I can pass it along to you. I'll either shoot you a message on social media, however you comment, or I will post it in the comment section there. So Linda Hawkins, thank you for thank you for everything you do, keeping us informed, updated. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Linda. I do appreciate that very much. Before we go into looking at this motion that was filed against Hinds County DA Jody Owens, we're going to listen to a word from our sponsor, Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water, water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. It's because of them we're able to bring you this every day at 1. This different kind of newscast. I call it a interactive newscast because I get to communicate and talk to you guys and chat with you as it's happening, but also different content that we're going to be bringing to you in the future. So make sure you are either subscribed to our YouTube channel, to our Twitch channel, that you're following us on Facebook, or most importantly, that you've downloaded our WLBT News app so that you get notifications on not only breaking news, but you also get notifications when we go live for WLBT Plus. So let's now talk, well, actually, let's look at the forecast real quick before we jump into the story about the Hinds County DA. So if we look at our current temperatures outside right now, you can see we're looking in the 80s, mid 80s, 70s, kind of a mixture all over the place there. But this is about as warm as it's going to get today. If we look at our current radar, we don't have any rain in the area just yet. We do have cloud coverage coming in, but no rain in the area just yet. That will change though. And if you look at our 12-hour forecast, you can see as we hit the overnight hours, dropping down into the low 70s, but 1 o'clock, we're looking at a 70% chance of rain. Some strong storms are expected to move through the area. And our 7-day forecast is, got a great cool weekend. Look at that, Friday, 58, Saturday, 60, and sunny, no rain. So just make sure you are prepared to enjoy your weekend, a beautiful weekend, beautiful, beautiful weekend. But as far as the severe weather that is expected to move through our area tonight, you want to make sure you're tuned in again at 2:30 today for our first alert weather team. They're going to bring you or break down the details of the forecast, the timing, and what exactly we're looking at with the severe weather, possible severe weather that could be moving through our area. So you want to tune in later tonight. Let's talk about the motion to disqualify Hinds County DA Jody Owens that was filed regarding or filed in a JPD murder officer's murder trial. So Hinds County DA is asked, the district attorney is, they're asking him to be disqualified and even his office to be disqualified from an officer who is accused of killing Keith Murrell. So last week, the attorneys for Kenya McCarty filed the motion to disqualify the DA's office, saying Owens is, quote, not fit to perform his job. What they wrote in this motion, it says, as the district attorney of Hinds County, Mississippi, Mr. Owens represents the people of the state. It's not his job to seek criminal convictions. Rather, it's his job to seek justice, whether that means convicting persons guilty of a crime under Mississippi law and or ensuring innocent people are not convicted. This was attorney Francis Springer wrote this. The recent indictment reveals that Mr. Owens is not fit to perform his job. This is what the attorney for Kenya McCarty has said. So McCarty is seeking that Owens and his office be disqualified from prosecuting him, saying any conviction in a prosecution led by that office would be tainted. Now, here is where the question lies. I can understand them believing that for Owens, for DA Owens, but the office, even though the office is tied to him, this doesn't necessarily mean that the office should be disqualified. There are good attorneys that work in the DA's office, and just because the DA himself is under investigation. Remember, he is innocent until proven guilty in our court system. So just because he is under investigation, just because he is going to be going to court, does not mean that even legally, he can still do his job, right? He doesn't have to step down. He doesn't have to resign or anything like that. He is still legally qualified to do his job in the eyes of the law. And that's what we have to look at here in the eyes of the law. Now, the McCarty's attorney went on to write, he said, because Mr. Owens is the official in charge of the DA's office, he is the final arbiter of who is prosecuted and who isn't. And as evidenced by the indictment, he is not in a position to perform that office with integrity. McCarty's attorney went on to write, the defendant has a right to due process and a fair trial. Both of these rights will be violated if he is prosecuted by a DA's office that is being run by a criminal enterprise. So we have spoken, obviously we have spoken a lot on this, what's going on in Hinds County with this bribery scheme. And we've even said before that by DA Owens not stepping down, could that cause cases that he has prosecuted to become into question, to be called into question here. And it does cast a shadow over the attorneys that work under him, that are working to do the right job, or at least you hope they're working to do the right job. So I guess my question to you guys tuning in is, what are your thoughts on this? Now, like I said, he is innocent until proven guilty, and until he goes to trial or he makes a deal or whatnot, he's still good to be the DA. And if he goes to trial and he is found innocent, well, then he can still continue his role as DA legally here. But I do understand where this indictment, this investigation, can cast a very big shadow over the entire office. In light of this, and because we've said this could happen, it is now happening, where people are calling the integrity of the office into question based off of what the indictment says for DA Owens. Do you think that maybe now he should choose to step down so that it does not further hurt the integrity of the Hinds County DA office? Or should he stay and fight until the trial is done and we find out, is it innocent, or is he innocent? Is he guilty in the court, in the eyes of the law, and then have to make that move out? I don't know. It's a lot of questions that it brings up here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Seashells Prosperity says, was he the lead DA? Was he the lead DA? If so, the office should be disqualified. Should the office be disqualified or should just he be disqualified? He is the lead DA in Hinds County. Were they in knowledge of his illegal acts? Co-workers, that is. Were his co-workers in knowledge of his illegal acts? I would hope not. I would definitely hope not. That is not something that we have information on, but I would hope not. Sheila asked here, it says, I knew they were going to do that because of the circumstances of events. Yes, it did look like I was very, it looked like something that was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen, and it did end up happening. Mike Angela at the Mike Magazine says, I think most people are questioning his moral compass, not if he is legally capable of continuing to work in the capacity of DA. And I believe that is correct. Unfortunately, though, what we have to do is, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, whichever side of this you fall on, right now, we have to look at the legal status. Is he legally required to step down from that role, or can he legally continue it? And he can legally continue the role of DA right now. I think it's really a decision on his part of whether or not this indictment is going to cast too big of a shadow over Hinds County and the DA's office there at Hinds County and all the people that work in his office that are hopefully doing are trying their best to do the correct legal job there, if I'm making any sense for you guys. Seashell said, just like Trump is still president, you are right. Law is insane. It is more for the ones with a law degree. I don't know. It is crazy. It is crazy. But I would hope that if I would hope that the situation is never reversed, that ever happens to me, or that ever a reason for that to happen. However, I would hope that if I were to ever get into a situation that had devastating legal consequences, that I would be given the benefit of the doubt and given the legal grounds of innocent until proven guilty. I would hope that people would grant me that, rather allow me to have my day in court, and they will have their day in court. Speaking of having their day in court, the pretrial conference has now been set for them. So we're looking here. The pretrial conference is set for December the 19th here in Hinds County, the federal courthouse. And let's see, that was filed last week when that date was set. I'm looking here at the story. You can also read this story on our website as far as the pretrial conference and this attorney for Kenya McCarty requesting that the Hinds County DA's office be disqualified from prosecuting his client. So the trial is still set so far for January 6th, and the pretrial conference is set for December the 19th. They will have on December the 6th a time to bring motions before the court. That's where motions will be heard. And so I'm assuming by December the 6th, we will hear something regarding this motion that was filed by Kenya McCarty's attorney. So that's what we have right now. Angela says, true, they will have their day in court soon. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And we will be there to cover it. We will be in the courtroom. Cameras won't be because they don't allow cameras in the federal courthouse, but we will be there covering it and bringing you guys all of the updates on it. Let's look at some of the election stuff. You know, we have a runoff election that is going to be happening next week, Thanksgiving week, and I want to make sure that you understand that you can go vote absentee voting. Now, if you're going to be out of town for the holidays, go vote absentee. Go cast your vote for these runoff elections. So there's going to be a runoff election for Supreme Court between Justice Jim Kitchens and between Senator Jennifer Branning. There's going to be a runoff between them on the 26th, and then there will also be a runoff for District 2 County Court Judge here in Hinds County. So there was some issues last Friday where actually Jennifer Branning's campaign filed a lawsuit against Hinds County for not having their votes certified. What they said was in time, or they wanted them to have them certified by 5 p.m. of last week or last Friday. Well, those votes have now been certified, and Jennifer Branning's campaign says it's now going to be dropping that lawsuit. So Hinds County Election Commissioner signed off on the results and submitted them to the Secretary of State's office. The results obviously didn't change the turnout or the results. The results didn't change what we knew was going to be happening. We knew the runoffs were going to be happening. The results didn't change that, but they have been now certified. And of course, absentee voting. My goodness, it's like my brain did not want to come off of the weekend at all. Anyway, absentee voting is now underway, and you can even absentee vote this Saturday. The courthouses will be open for voting until noon on Saturday. And then, of course, in-person voting is next Tuesday. So you want to make sure if you're in town, go vote. And if you're going to be out of town, go ahead and absentee vote. One sad thing about here in Mississippi, though, is that we had a really low turnout of voters in this past election. Less than 60% of registered voters went out and vote. So the Secretary of State's office is saying that 58% of the voters participated, which is the lowest turnout since 2004. 20 years is the lowest turnout that we've had for voters in 20 years. JSU's political science professor DeAndre Ore says he's not surprised that the turnout wasn't any higher. Let's hear from him.
Mississippi has some of the most severe punitive laws as it relates to voting, whether it be felon disenfranchisement, whether it be purging. Mississippi is at the bottom as it relates to access to the poll. And until we can remove some of those barriers, because after all, you know, a democracy is defined by rule by the people. And so you should have laws in place that will allow people to vote and participate in the political process.
So Secretary of State Michael Watson called the voter turnout disappointing. He said the general toxicity in politics, voter apathy, candidate selection, the idea of a single vote doesn't matter, among other things, may have contributed to the dismal turnout. And those are sad excuses. It is incumbent upon us as U.S. citizens and Mississippians to not only understand, but act upon our civic duty and our responsibility. So hopefully, when the next elections roll around, more people will get out there and participate and be a part of the process. That is one of the things that make our country great, to get out there and be able to choose our leaders. So get out there and vote. Guys, that's going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. Don't forget to tune into our newscast, or tune in here at 2:30 today to get an in-depth look at your forecast from our First Alert weather team, breaking down the timing of the possible severe weather. And then also tune into our newscast tonight to hear more of the stuff that we're working on today, find out exactly what happened in the press conference that the mayor had today. Also, Kenneth Stokes held a press conference as well. Lots of information that we're going to be having for you in our newscast. You can watch those, of course, on Channel 3, or you can watch them on our website, our mobile app. You can watch them in real time on our mobile app. Or if you miss them and you want to go check out the newscast later, you can watch those on demand there as well. Thank you guys so much for being here with me on this Monday. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe in this rain, and I will see you tomorrow at 1. Bye.